So it's so crazy that I put out a video today saying Warzone delayed Verdansk, and then they do it again. So let's talk about the new date, April 3rd. Call of Duty tweets out, Season 3 is a big moment for Call of Duty, Warzone, and Black Ops 6, and we're taking the time to deliver a great experience starting on April 3rd. More coming, Call of Duty's 5th anniversary of Warzone next week. Now, the thing that is a little frustrating about this, right, means they probably thought they could make it to this date, and they saw all the feedback on YouTube, not just from myself, but from lots of creators who have been saying, you know, there needs to be an understanding on whether or not we really need redeploy balloons. Like, if we can just have good vehicles, we don't need redeploy balloons. So please give us good vehicles. From the start, let's have good vehicles again. Let's make all the Warzone 1 mechanics the foundation of Warzone again. And that is the goal. So we are sitting here hoping for that, and we're talking about it, and they probably heard us say, Warzone's dying if these things aren't there. And they said, we got to push back the release. We need to make this more viable, you know? And so if they want the numbers and they want the players to stay, they're going to get all the players to come back for Verdansk, for sure. Just like OG Fortnite. They're going to get a high number of players coming back. Probably more than even Warzone 2 brought. But if the game isn't in a good place, they leave. So they push the date back. But if you read some of the comments, you start to realize the community is a little torn. I'm happy with this delay. I said, would much rather a delay if it means a better product so you don't fuck up launch now. You have zero excuses, and I mean, when I say that, you have zero excuses here forward, because if they push the date back and then they still fumble this whole update with tons of bugs, tons of issues, we're going to have a problem, right? Because it's their fault. We told them to delay this if it's not ready, and they listened, so they better do it right. If they just pick an arbitrary date and it's not a, you know, good time when you get on this game, they're throwing it away. If the anti-cheat is not in a good place, they're throwing it away. The mechanics aren't there, they're throwing it away. So this needs to be a good launch. Modern Warzone, my friend Doug says, would rather it be delayed than completely broken at launch, but still feels bad, man. Of course. I see people saying, you know, they're upset about it being delayed, but other people being honest. I'd rather a short delay than a bug-riddled launch. Good job, hype for Season 3. C-Preds, if this means less bugs, better anti-cheat, smoother launch, this is a massive W. Thank you for delaying instead of just releasing it. But it's still a little scary because they've been working on this for a year and they didn't have it ready. I don't know. I also saw some other takes, like J God saying, good, people ask them to delay if it's not ready, and when they do, people ask why. It's a fair thing to say that they're upset about the delay because they were just expecting for COD to have it down. But you know, that's not always the case. COD isn't always going to have it perfectly down, so they need to make sure that they have it down. I also saw a very good opinion on this whole situation from the Tactical Brit, who said right here, the reality of Verdansk delays means they are probably preparing for a car crash release. We have heard through the rumor mill that this was a last-minute pivot away from Avalon, which is true. I honestly think even when it drops on April 3rd, it is going to be a buggy mess. This is fair. This is fair. And he brings up a really good point, which you have to take with a grain of salt. But the last time Call of Duty delayed a map, it was Caldera. And we all remember how much of a disaster release that was in terms of stability and bugs. I want to be optimistic, but quite frankly, I am just preparing for the worst. There is something about this Call of Duty engine that seems incapable of producing a stable pipeline for devs. He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. Caldera was a mess when they delayed it. Console players couldn't play it. I made a whole video on the death of Verdansk. Of Warzone, and going over everything that killed Warzone over time. More players left, and more players left, and more players left. But man, It is tough. This guy right here, XPFX Gaming, makes a good point though as well. Strange coincidence. Phantom Overlay announces it is closing in 32 days, which lines up with April 1st. At the time of this post, they have now delayed the map and update after the same time period. Interesting. Don't need anti-cheat if there's no cheat providers, which we talked about in my last video. Anti-cheat, needs to be good for Verdansk. And we talked about in the last video that Phantom Overlay just got shut down. So they could try to mask that their game is great on launch because the biggest cheat provider will be gone. I hope that they are truly putting in the time and the effort it's going to take to make this release good. And I mean perfect, not just good, perfect. Movement working just as it should. The vehicles working like they were in Warzone 1. The redeploy balloons, not a necessity, but a convenience if they're in there. Remove the gulag tokens, remove the redeploy things, remove redeploy flares, remove redeploy tokens. Resurgence is resurgence and battle royale is battle royale. Sure, we can buy back our teammates, but it is up to us to buy back our teammates or do a most wanted. Nobody does most wanteds anymore to bring back teammates because there's a million ways to bring them back. Let's fix that. I don't think I'm crazy for thinking that. I think this game has devolved in so many ways. Let's look at some more of these comments because, I mean, truly, it's like insane that they did this. Westy said 2 weeks more without my HDR. Well, that is how it's going to be. Sean P, good idea to delay it until it's ready. Yep. Lucci, personally, I'd love if you guys delayed Verdansk indefinitely. I speak for everyone when we say we love Urzakistan. You want to remaster a real map? Bring back Caldera. Those were the golden days. Yo, I know he's trolling, but low-key, Caldera was kind of fire. So, I mean, truly, I cannot ask for a, better situation than the game actually fixing everything and having a solid launch. They have no excuses now. April 3rd comes, and this map isn't perfect, with 0 bugs, or at least 0 major bugs. You can't expect them to have 0 bugs. There's going to be something. There's always something. But 0 major bugs, and a working anti-cheat that is kick-ass. And I mean kick-ass. We can't have any, corners cut. It needs to be exactly what it's supposed to be. An anti-cheat to stop cheaters. If Fortnite could do it, why can't you? You guys make way more money than Fortnite. And I'm serious about that. Now they're owned by Microsoft. Okay? They got Bill Gates money. There's no excuses. Let's get this locked in and deliver on our promises. Make the game great again. Make COD great again. I think they should run on that campaign. I'm just saying. It worked for another guy. It could work for you. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. And I appreciate every single one of you coming through. If you like my video, maybe you'll like some other ones. And we'll be streaming over on Twitch in the future when Verdansk drops. So make sure you guys go follow that in the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next video.